So, I had promised a second video this week because I was sick and couldn't get done one last week, which again, I apologize for. And I decided that we're going to do another one of the Beyond the Controller videos. And this one's kind of tough. And I give full warning, I am not a medical professional. And the things that I'm going to talk about might be a little bit disturbing. I have been officially disabled since 2005. There have been times when I've tried to work in small pieces, but it doesn't really last a whole lot until I have to stop. Oh, my collar's all messed up in this shirt. Great, sweet. Yeah, whatever. My depression and anxiety have existed since I was 10 years old. There's been multiple treatments over the past 30 years. Try to help them and make me quote unquote normal. There have been some that have made things worse. There's been some that have helped a little. Nothing's ever really worked, and I've been on a bunch of different cocktails over the years. About 13 or so years ago, although it probably existed for longer than that, we added physical disability as my back kind of gave out one night and I couldn't feel my legs. Through a bunch of different testing and imaging, we discovered that I have degenerative disc disease throughout my entire spine. From the base of my spine, which is pretty much where the butt is, all the way up through my neck. As well as I have a curvature of over 30% in my spine, which is not good. It's really not good. You know, I like to make the joke that it's because everyone expected me to end up as 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", and I'm right around 5'11" and a half, so I always say I'm 6 foot. You know, I always joke that's what the curvature's from, but, you know, it makes basic daily living kind of hard sometimes. The only thing that really they can do about that is a surgery that they won't, and I won't let them, which would be put metal rods up and down the entirety of my spine where I would never be able to bend anything ever again. Which is just not gonna happen. I'll be paralyzed first. I'm dead serious. I'll be paralyzed before I let that one go down. Lately, the problems in the neck have led to a lot of extra dizziness. It's starting to affect nerves to where there are times where I can't feel my hands. Right as we speak, they're getting kind of a little bit numb. Sometimes I can't move my arms all the way. It's not a fun time, you know, especially as a gamer. You know, I've spent my entire life gaming. And so this is like the worst possible thing that could happen is sometimes not be able to watch a screen to play a game or correctly hold a controller. This part was exacerbated a couple years back. I dislocated my left shoulder. And the orthopedic that we ended up at after the ER, which I have told that story elsewhere before, and I don't feel like rehashing it, but that was not a fun time. The orthopedic did not do any imaging aside from an x-ray. And because nothing was broken and it was sitting in place, he thought everything was fine. Well, it's likely there were muscles torn and other things messed up. And there's all kinds of extra chest pains that happen and arm pains. And, well, when, I hear that, or rather, I feel that. For a while, I thought I was having heart attacks because, well, I've gotten bigger. And, chest pain, arm pain, I've always been told that's, signs of a heart attack. I learned from a doctor of one easy way to tell, at least somewhat. If you press down and there's pain, then it's probably not a heart attack. Although if it's bad, you probably still should go get checked out. Once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just repeating the things that I've been told over the years. Do not take this as medical advice, for the love of God. I may be smart, but I am not a doctor of any kind. I've just been dealing with some of this stuff for multiple years. Like I said, I've been dealing with the psychiatric side. I was 10 years old when that started, shortly after my grandfather died. That's when everything started there. You pretty much name anything that's existed for treating depression, anxiety, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, PTSD, and a couple others that I've been diagnosed with over the years that some say I shouldn't have been diagnosed with, some say I was diagnosed with. And then, just to throw it out there, we think that there's potential autism spectrum somewhere, because that would explain a lot of things that have happened throughout my life, especially my childhood, which we haven't gotten tested for me, and not exactly sure how to do that. We're in the process of changing just about every doctor after I changed insurance in January, so we got to start all this fun stuff all over again. I'm in pain most of the day, but I have gotten really good at faking it to where, you can't really tell. I've gotten good at sitting certain ways to where it doesn't bother me as much. So if you've ever seen a live stream of mine where I'm just randomly adjusting or moving in the chair, I'm moving to a different spot to try to alleviate some of the pain. Unfortunately, this is not a happy video, but I kind of wanted to explain why all my streaming stuff that I was gunning for, the 2021 challenge that I had said I was going to start, that I had started on Twitch. I had just barely started. And these new issues with my hands and everything started to come out, and my ability to play games is very hindered at the moment. Yes, I have managed to beat 3 games so far this year. This is the beginning of April. 3 games is horrible. I think I managed 6 games last year, and that was largely skewed because of all the moving around we did, moving cross country and then to another city within the state of Nevada, which was so much fun. Still repaying all that debt. But yeah, this is me. You know, this is, I've always believed, ever since I started back doing this back in 2008, where I actually stopped YouTube simply because I hated editing. I was mainly Twitch, and I was doing Twitch 5, sometimes 6 times a week. Never really got big on it. I did make it to 500 followers at a point. Unfortunately, the VOD for that celebration was full of music that was copyrighted because it was a Twitch Sing stream. So that's kind of, it's not gone forever because I do have it. It's just privated. But, you know, I never expected I've been a gamer my whole life. You know, I have spent more money than I probably want to admit over the last 30 some odd years on games. You know, like I said, I'm 40 years old. Yeah, I was playing the Atari 2600 when I started out. The first video game I purchased with my own money was NES Play Action Football at GameStop, which was Funkoland back then. That was the first game I ever purchased with my own money. And I don't care what anyone says. I think that's more fun than Tecmo Bowl. But you know, it's been kind of demoralizing these past couple months because, you know, I intended to do a lot more with this channel. Not just doing live streams with beating games and going through, you know, the backlog that doesn't seem to want to die whatsoever, but reviews of games, different odd videos and fun videos, and just me showing off more of my personality, which I know hasn't been shown off as much on YouTube. You know, my oddities, my random stupidities, my Tonyisms, as some people called them. They really haven't shown through. And at this point, I'm just rambling. You know, but I wanted to give you all the second video that I promised, as well as kind of explain why all the talk about streaming stopped. That why when I mention medical stuff, what I'm talking about. You know, also let me go ahead and dispel some BS right quick. I get next to shit when it comes to my monthly disability check. I would get more in a week working fast food. You know, I'm not living large off it. Luckily, my wife makes decent money. We still got tons of debt and everything from that move. I'm not kidding. I could talk about how much that move from Louisiana to Nevada cost for hours, but I'm not going to. It was a lot. It was a lot more than we intended, and it was definitely in the five figures. You know, I don't get food stamps because, again, my wife makes decent money. We're not rich. We are not rich. We are just barely middle class, which is an accomplishment because I've never been anything but poor in my life. So, an accomplishment. Now, I don't get any type of extra assistance. You know, I'm not out there trying to milk the government or any of that crap you hear from people. I literally can't work. I can't sit for super long periods. I can't stand for I can get about 15 minutes on a good day. And that's largely thanks to the new cane I have, which, yes, I use a cane to walk. And even with the cane, I can only walk about maybe 20 minutes. Sometimes I can make it through a trip to the grocery store while pushing the cart. Sometimes I gotta bow out halfway and go back to the car while my wife finishes shopping. You know, this is not. I'm not trying to make this into like a boo-hoo, feel bad for me thing either. I know it might sound like that, but no. My whole thing has always been in spite of. You know, I have gone through a lot of shit in my life. You know, I've been through foster care, I've been homeless, I've been, you know, just barely making it through in some situations. And somehow I'm still here. Somehow I'm still making it to this point. You know? But yeah, I had other plans to do extra stuff. I actually had planned for the second video to be another top 15 or some other like fun little video, not look, here's me, here's Azure Tony, you know, here's Neil by himself bearing it all because, well, you know, government name is Neil. Tony is related to my middle name. My screen name is related to my deceased grandmother, because that was what she called me, was Tony. It's Azure for the woman who raised me high up in the sky, who looks down on Tony while he still tries. Lame, I know. I know it's lame. I know it's, you know, kind of silly. It's just, but I also want to state, and if you've made it this far, thank you so much, because I know that this is going to end up, you know, not performing, not doing great on YouTube, and I don't give a flying. Oh. Yes, I know I've already said that, drop the S-bomb twice. I ain't dropping the F-bomb right now. I was about 240 walking 2 to 3 miles a day. Partially because I had to, because the way public transportation was. But ever since everything started with my back and neck and everything, I'm about 360 now. Simply because I can't exercise, I can't move around, like I used to. I barely eat. My breakfast is an apple and a Nutri-Grain bar. My lunch is a little sandwich. Dinner tends to either be essentially a half a chicken breast, because it's me and the wife, with some cauliflower rice, different kinds, or some sausage and either some type of cauliflower rice or veggies or carrots or potatoes or something. I don't eat bad. I'm not sitting here, just on junk food all day. Spell that too. But yeah. I don't wish this on anyone. And I'm not looking for pity. There's no edits. This is raw. This is I mean, you can tell when I'm doing off the cuff versus when I'm reading from something I wrote. It sounds quite a bit different. Yeah. So I guess that's it as I ramble on. Thank you all for watching. And hopefully something next will be a lot more fun and happy and joyful and all that shit. All right. Peace.